This is Tony Schiavone. Hey everybody, welcome to AEW Control Center. We are heading towards the next big event. We're all excited about Chicago at the Sears Center, August 31st for All Out. And before we talk about that, I want to take you back to Fight for the Fallen in Jacksonville. And what a great event it was. Thank you very much for being with us for Fight for the Fallen. And what about the match between Superbad Kip Sabian and Hangman Adam Page? And how about what happened after that match and the receipt from Hangman Adam Page to Chris Jericho that came later in the night?
This is a bit of a tune-up match, you would figure, for Hangman Page, right? But listen, Kip Sabian has something to gain as well. He will be placed squarely into the title picture if he's able to beat Hangman Page here tonight.
Standing shooting star press. To the athleticism of Page. Great. Deny! What the hell? Oh! Hangman Page.
Wait a second.
It's Chris Jericho. We knew he was going to be here, but certainly not in this form.
I'm looking at the blood of Hangman Page on my hand right here, right now. I am going to prove that if it wasn't for me, AEW wouldn't exist. And more importantly, I am going to prove, like I did tonight, that the Hangman is nothing more than a little...
Count here! Oh, there's a Hangman! Adam Page exploding his wrath on Chris Jericho.
So there's your thank you from Hangman Adam Page recently in Jacksonville. And fans, now we got something very special for you. We are going to take you to Greensboro, North Carolina, the home of Hangman Adam Page, for his reaction to what went down in Jacksonville. Let's take you there right now.
Every morning I wake up, wash my face, and look in the mirror, and to be honest with you, most mornings I don't like what I see. I've done some bad. I've pissed away a lot of opportunity, but this morning I looked in the mirror and smiled. So Chris Jericho, you want your big thank you. I'm gonna go on and give it to you, Chris. Thank you for Saturday. Thank you for making me feel for the first time in months that I truly had to fight. Thank you for making me feel alive. Thank you for this, because when I looked at this and I saw it in the mirror this morning, I realized I don't want this to heal. I don't want the bruise to fade. I don't want the cut to close. I want to pull the stitches out of my eye because I want it to bleed. I want to feel it. I want this blood to crust over my eyes at night, and I want it to drip hot and red and fresh on the bathroom sink every morning between now and August 31st, because when I look in the mirror and see this, it's a reminder that the only thing that stands between me and being the first All Elite Wrestling World Champion is a little bit of blood and guts. And I know that after Saturday, I have more of that than Chris Jericho. I could feel his feet backpedaling. I could tell that he wasn't lying when he said that he was afraid of losing to me. And he's right, he should be, because there is not a damn thing I would not do to make sure that on September the 1st, when I look in the mirror, I see a champion.
All right, that from Hangman Adam Page. So now it is all set. Coming in Chicago, Sears Center, All Out, August 31st, the first ever AEW World Championship. Hangman Adam Page and Chris Jericho going one-on-one. I'm Tony Schiavone. Thank you for joining us in the AEW Control Center.
Restart this match. Wait a minute. Shawn Spears? Oh my God! Spears with a chair shot right to the side of the head.
Since you asked to speak with me, which I appreciate, by the way, I've really been thinking a lot about this conversation. I don't really look at it as much as an interview as a conversation. I've always respected your work. I think you're one of the top guys in the business. I thought for years that you're a little bit underutilized in my eyes. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. You'll prove that yourself. But I got to thinking, there's got to be a reason that Shawn Spears tore Cody Rhodes' head off. The fans are simply wanting to know, why did you do it? Because you're a smart guy. You're you're calculating. I can see that. Why did you strike Cody Rhodes in the head? Because at the side of the head, all that vulnerable area where there's not as much mass, danger zone, man. Why did you do it?
It means the world to me, you being here.
Oh, thank
Do you know that?
Thanks.
The respect thing here is very, very mutual.
Good. I mean
Jim Ross, man. It means the world to me. I asked you to be here, you're here, and now the world wants an explanation. That's great. How long have you been in the industry, JR?
Oh, a couple of weeks, maybe longer than you've been alive. but
Heartbeat,
yeah,
longer than I've been alive,
long time.
25, 30, 35
40.
years, 40 years. 40 years. How many matches have you seen?
Yeah.
So is it fair to say in those 40 years that you have met tens of thousands of people?
Yep.
It's probably fair to say, right?
Fair.
Of those tens of thousands, how many of those people would you consider in your inner circle, your close friends? Would it be 50, 25, 10?
Maybe less
I
than
have
10.
5,
Well,
JR.
I'm not surprised about that. Do you feel badly about that? You have 5?
No. By design, by choice.
Okay.
5 people that I let into my inner circle, 5 people that I trust, that I planned on keeping near and dear to my heart until the day that I died. Cody was one of them. There's certain things that people in regular life you're just not supposed to do. There's certain things you don't say publicly. You don't call a woman the C word. You don't tell children that Santa Claus isn't real. Right?
Right.
In the wrestling industry, there are certain terms and certain things you also don't say, especially within your core group. Cody crossed the line, and I think you know what I'm talking about, right?
I got a good idea.
He's changed.
Cody's
He's put on a suit,
Yeah.
given himself a nice fancy executive vice president title, and he's saying the same damn thing that they have said for nearly 8.5 years. He's changed. You don't call someone a good hand, JR.
I'd like to think, Sean, he didn't mean it in a derogatory manner, but I can certainly understand your angst that you took it that way.
It's a curse of this industry to be called a good hand. You know this. 40 years, you know this. You understand what I'm talking about. He should know better, JR. Clearly he forgot, and that's why I wrapped a steel chair around his face at Fyter Fest. Sometimes people just need to be reminded.
I'd like to know more about the OVW experience. Ohio Valley Wrestling, Louisville, Kentucky. A lot of the younger talents were sent there to learn. What happened in OVW that apparently just...
He's a leech.
What do you mean by that?
It started in OVW. It
Yeah.
started with me. He came in, I taught him to wrestle. He said that. Those were his words. He's made it public knowledge. And then when that ran its course, he went on to bigger and better things. Bob Holly, Ted DiBiase Jr., Damian Sandow. Where are those guys now?
Couldn't tell you.
Exactly. He latches on, bleeds it dry, and moves on. He's a leech.
Well, probably no one has got the personal issue regarding this matter more prominently than you, because it really offended you, obviously, Sean. You don't wrap a chair around somebody's head if you're not pissed off, and you want some more. It would seem to me that you set the stage with this chair shot heard around the world, certainly around the pro wrestling world, that you want a match. And I think we all want to see this match. I don't think it'll be a wrestling match. I think it'll be more of a fight. That's my take on it. Maybe I'm wrong. But how do you settle this thing? I mean, somewhere along the way you got to fight. When is that going to be? When do you want it to be?
We both know when that day is going to be. Bottom line is he's forgotten who he was. He was in my inner 5. He forgot that I was there for the 50th wedding anniversary of his parents. He forgot that I sat at the table for Thanksgiving dinner. He's forgotten who he was.
You guys are like brothers.
We were. So it took a steel chair to remind him of one simple common denominating fact. He bleeds the exact same color that I do. So All Out, Chicago, August 31st, I'll be there. And as the old resilient Rhodes family lineage tells us, he'll show up and I'll make an example out of him.
You have no doubts he's going to accept your challenge, because I don't.
Rhodes, he's a Rhodes.
Yeah,
he needs to know face to face why. And I just so happen to have an ace up my sleeve, JR. The greatest battles and wars in history weren't won with the biggest weapons or the strongest soldiers. They were won with the greatest minds. Thanks, Tully.
JR, this interview needs to be over with.
Sure, Tully.